talk about that match a little bit, because I know you guys have probably been talking in the green room about how that went down, because that's, I mean, Cubby, you always talk about your certified bangers. I feel like that's coined from you by now, but the ending of the game definitely was one.
Yeah. Wow. That was a hell of a game. I know, I like how Tomo said, hey, we probably would have been pretty tilted if we dropped that one. I think that the Nexus push was justly a little bit too soon. Could have taken the soul, reset for free. But hey, as I love to say, one of my favorite phrases in golf, no pictures on a scorecard. So a 2-0 is a 2-0. And FlyQuest, they can stay in the upper bracket and take a lot from that win. Toppling GGA, and especially Spyrex, putting up that performance, not only for himself, his second split of Proving Grounds, but also having that performance against ABO too was fantastic. Rooted, what are your thoughts?
I'm actually still very sad. My GGA Force prediction now looks incredibly worse for wear. But that game certainly gave me hope. I do think there is lower bracket hopium. You're quite right, Covey. But I do think that the team looks really good. I think that despite the fact that, like you say, they may have been a 2-0 and they don't have a win on the board, they actually looked like a very cohesive team for the most part. They had, honestly, really impressive engagements both games. I think that Hustlin played the support role incredibly well, recognizing his duty on the Brom that game. There were some really good shields to block walls, and in game number 1, playing the Leona, he was constantly finding good engages, like the Cognizance to pull that engage button at any single time that was necessary was honestly very impressive. Yes, it's a great win for FlyQuest Academy. Don't want to take anything away from them, but GGA themselves, they can't be too disappointed with this.
Yeah, it was definitely at least fun on the viewer end. Regardless of who you're cheering for, you cannot be disappointed with just being able to watch some good League of Legends, that's for sure. And I'm hoping we get to see some more of that with our next series. We have EGA going up against 100 next for our second series of the day.
Big one.
We're going to get one of our academy teams going up against one of our amateur teams, and that's always fun, especially since we have Rudy to talk about our amateur team. First, we're going to be talking about 100X and why this is a team that has been really a hot topic.
I think that this team just as a whole is really, really exciting. They're coming off the back of a really dominant split in amateur. They won 2 of the 4 PGCQ tournaments throughout the entire year. Fnatic and Sniper are 2 people that you really want to keep your eyes on, as people from not the academy scene may not be familiar with. People obviously know Darkwing's had a really good start off to his split in spring on Dignitas, back on 100X for this new iteration of 100X. And then that bot lane, Lens and Sword, again, potentially some familiar and unfamiliar faces. Lens, tiny bit of experience in the TCL. Sword, obviously the role swap down to the support role as well from mid lane. The 100 Thieves brand at this point, it feels like, for their supports. Really exciting bot lane duo, and I think that people looking at 100 Thieves to make waves through Proving Grounds should look no further than the amateur squad they've got.
See, looking at this roster too, there's a couple of different areas where your eyes are drawn, and someone that we did want to talk about, there's actually a couple people we wanted to talk about in this pre-show, but the first one was Fnatic. Rafa, take me through a little bit why this is a player that we wanted to highlight.
And the thing about Fnatic is that he is no stranger to the academy system. He did have one split back in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, for summer of FlyQuest Academy. It wasn't like the best debut, and unfortunately that was his only academy split, but through the amateur scene, he has been grinding his butt off. He has just been working to show why he was one of the better, if not best, jungle prospect we had coming out of summer last year, Cubby.
And I think this matchup's really exciting because he's going up against Tomio, someone that had his best PG finish when he was on EGP in spring. And back then, even in summer too, before Tomio was promoted to Evil Genius's academy, our top 2 jungle prospects from amateur, we had that list going with Mobalytics. It was Tomio and Fnatic. And it was a big debate, who you put first versus who you put second. So seeing them go toe-to-toe in this one, I think is really exciting. Also, the orgs as well. It's just, I think the 2 orgs that have done the best with their developmental programs, you look at EG winning LCS with Jojo Pyun and Danny. Also, EGP, I think, has had a lot of talent throughout the years. And 100 Thieves, the batch of players that they have coming up, the youngest academy team that we've ever seen. 100 Next having Kenvi, Poom wrecking in the LCS too. I think it just really speaks to the direction of both of these orgs, and seeing them go toe-to-toe in this, I fully consider 100 Thieves next an Academy team. So I think this is a very exciting matchup coming up.
That is a big claim, too, that you consider them like an Academy team. So then we should see them go hopefully pretty far in our upper bracket. And to do that, they're going to have to take down Evil Genius's Academy, start things off. Dude, I know Iko and Rafa got to see a bunch of them. I would love your take on this team, though.
Yeah, I'm obviously fairly familiar with 30 as well. Tomio, like Cubby mentioned, proficient in the amateur scene last season. 30, really an exciting prospect from last year, now developed and showing himself in the Academy top lane, has been honestly very impressive. Has this myriad champion pool that he can play a lot of different things up there, carrying game after game for the EGA squad, as well as having this bot lane. I'm incredibly high on Kaori as an AD carry, coming over again from the TCL. One of the common themes of our ADCs in this match, has incredible hands, a really mechanically adept laner that when you get to the late game as well, is somebody that if you put your eggs in that basket, 9 times out of 10 it's going to get delivered and you find yourself a game win. So EGA, somebody to really keep your eyes on.
Oh, then everybody keep your eyes peeled, because you're not going to have to wait long. Champ Select is already ready. We get to hop into the game. I know. We're going right into it. Have fun, you two. Me and Rude will catch up with you later.
Okay. Well, as Rude was kind of highlighting, one of the bigger matchups we are looking at is in the bot lane, but between both Lens and Kaori. And we are taking no time at all to make sure that Kaori gets one of the best bot laners on the patch in his hands.
I don't want to spoil some of the other things that we had, but we might have had a player card that would have said Kaori is known for his Kalista play, and the TCL, who did make not only all pro, but also MVP of the TCL.
Yeah.
So Lens, really tough task for him, but you know, when I talk with 100 Thieves next, especially speaking with Fnatic, the one person that Fnatic always talks about that deserves more credit on this roster, it is Lens. And it's a great opportunity for Lens to prove that, you know, he does deserve some more credit as wow. Okay, we are throwing things down here early, Rafa.
Yeah. I mean, I
like it.
This is not what I was expecting from Lens. I was pretty sure that Lens was going to be put on like a janitor-style AD carry, cleanup duty. Late game, Jinx, late game, Aphelios, but nah. He wants to throw hands. Renata Draven in his back pocket alongside Sword. And Evil Genius's Academy. Yes, sir. They are not backing down from a fight. The Amumu being locked in for Smoothie. There is plenty of crowd control and plenty of damage to go both sides.
Something else I really like, Fnatic, this Wukong for him. I really can't like speak enough strong words about Fnatic. I really feel like Fnatic is to Amateur what Armeo is to Academy. I look at this player, the experience he has, his ability. Jungle is just a stacked role in NA. And Fnatic's someone that I look at and I'm like, this guy is an Academy level player. He is the leader of this team. And I think this is the best split I've seen Fnatic have, maybe since the Barrage split, where they were so good in Amateur, taking Noorg to 5. Fnatic has been fantastic, and this Wukong, his most played, 8-2, very good in the Kalista with those knockups. See if Fnatic can come up big in this one.
Cyclone is one great way to engage or even disengage, but right now 100 Thieves next, more so on the disengage side, as playing into things like an Azir and a Mumu, they want to go forward, or they want to be able to kite forward. There's plenty of direction that both of these teams can kind of go in. I just imagine that Evil Geniuses, when you have something like the Kalista, you want to play for the bottom side of the map. You want to stack those dragons and make use of her power with securing objectives.
All right, Rafa. I think we're going to see a Trundle here from Tomio. We'll give Surdy counterpick. I just say from 100 Thieves, though.
Sure.
My eyes go to Darklings. Darklings is a player, when he came into Academy, we had a stat that he played 20 unique champions in 41 games. It is a champion ocean, as Xin Zhao actually taken for Tommy. A little bit more early aggression. I gotta say, I think Darklings, that champion pool, I want to see Swain. I think Swain actually is pretty good in this game. You can play it into the Azir. I think it's an option into Azir Kalista. Maybe we end up seeing that for Darklings. It's been a specialty pick for him this split.
Lock it in. Lock it in. Lock in the Birdman. Yeah.
Easy call. And now for Sniper, Fiora is banned. For me, that means that Sniper likely going to take Gnar. It would be a pick that is denied away from Surdy. And something that Sniper has really been picking up and improving on throughout the split.
It would be a blind pick, though, for Sniper. And that was one of our other highlighted matchups that we wanted to see as well, depending on what champions were played. Both Sniper and Surdy have been...
Gwen or Aurelia? Okay, it's Gwen. Yeah, easy.
Both of these guys have been very vocal about wanting to be the best, if not already being one of the best in their respective landscapes. Sniper, probably the most exciting top lane prospect we have coming out of Amateur. Many would have said would have already been playing Academy if he wasn't too young. Sniper is what, at this point, 15 years old?
Still 15, yeah. We'll be 16 for next split. Birthday is in, I believe, November, December, so it makes things easy for Sniper as we get to see him climb through the ranks again. Sniper in Amateur, a little bit of a cheat code, but I gotta say, Sniper probably coming off of the worst series I've seen him play. I know that 400 next in the finals was a little bit of a lack of, practice that they had going into Taco Gaming. Weren't able to scrim the whole week, just given some outside circumstances. But Sniper, this is someone that we were pitching as, a great prospect, like one of the top ones that we have in the entire ecosystem, even if he isn't in Academy. And I always love seeing when our young players can maybe have an X factor. And, Sniper wants to be one of the great ones. Bouncing back after a tough best of 5 where he lost in finals against a player the caliber of Surdy, to me, would really, really be impressive from Sniper. And if 100X wants to have a shot against EGA, a match that I think is pretty close, could be big. Sniper steps up here.
Same thing for Evil Geniuses Academy as well for Surdy. I mean, he is someone that has been very vocal about being the second best top laner in the entire league. Well, you got to make sure that you can still clap the ones coming out of Amateur, even if they're a 15-year-old. We're going to head on to the Rift for Game 1 between 100 Thieves next and Evil Geniuses Academy, baby. Let's go.
I'm excited for this one, Rafa. Again, the two orgs, I mean, this was the finals of the LCS. And I think when I look at these two orgs and the future of NA development, I really feel like EG and 100 Thieves, they are pushing that forward each. And see the Academy team go up against the strongest Amateur team that we have. This is an exciting matchup and one that I feel is EGA favored, but also one that I would not be surprised at all if 100X were able to take.
Definitely seeing how Evil Geniuses Academy have struggled throughout the summer split, only surging towards the back half. And I know Surdy had strong words about what their expectations were for the last week of the split. They were saying, if we don't go 6-0, we will have failed. And, to their credit, they went 5-1, 4-2, if my memory serves correctly.
I believe it was a 4-2, and, Surdy pulled the team Liquid Honda card, and so they beat themselves twice. So, got to respect it from Surdy. But Surdy, for me, Surdy's been really playing well ever since the break week. And talking with Tomio before this game, he really felt like, the break week, it gave them a chance to, take a break from competition, reset the mentals, and approach the game a little bit differently. And I think that's really shown in EGA's play. And a lot of their identity, it has been leaving Surdy on an island at the top side and taking advantage of the laning prowess that this player has, as he is a very powerful laner that we have. And him playing in isolation has been huge for EGA.
Because EGA in the past, a lot of the times they would figure that if we need Surdy to be reliable and useful in the game, we need to give him resources early on and make sure that he is not decelerated and put behind. But we've seen that Surdy can tend to himself in the 1v1, but now Sniper, he's about to go Mega.
No.
Oh, this is a bad spot, and Sniper in the 1v1. We talked about how before 100 Thieves next, they were playing around with giving Sniper less resources, him being weak side. We just saw an all-out brawl, level 1, and Sniper wins it.
It's Scrim City, baby. We got all wins level 1. Sniper coming out on top, as that's a beautiful start for 100 Thieves, and look at the junglers, how they're pathing. No one's heading towards that top side, so Sniper will be able to base. We'll miss a little bit of XP and CS as Surdy was able to pull away, but still for Sniper, this is massive. That boomerang was really big as Surdy tries to go for the all-in, just doesn't have enough gas in the tank. Could have popped the potion a little bit earlier, potentially, if you wanted to pull that one off, but not close. And Sniper, our 15-year-old rank 1 NA, able to take down one of the better top laners we have in Academy level 1.
And for those that are watching Sniper for the first time, oh my god, another all-in to the death? Surdy really wants to prove it. He might have it, but he can't get in range. Sniper has the range advantage. Oh, this is so close, and no jungler is close to them, so it's really just up to these two to determine who wins out.
Sniper has to use that hop to get away from the next snip. We'll see if that is the case, but while all this is going on, Bot Crab goes over to the Draven lane, whereas Tomio rotating back up. So him playing through top. We'll see if it's big, but Sniper, again, that best of 5, I believe he was solo killed 6 times in the first 4 games. To see him bounce back with a big level 1 against Surdy, really good sign from Sniper. He's coming into PG to play.
It's a huge wave about to be stacked on the Sniper, but he's about to go Mega, so Surdy will not take any chances further extending the play. Just to give more context as why we are hyping up Sniper in the first place. This guy was scouted by Cloud9 back in 2020, and they wanted to sign him to the...
He's 13.
Prospective amateur roster. He was too young, unfortunately. And he was even too young to compete in amateur. So, unfortunately for him, Cloud9 could not follow through and have him on the team. And so, 100 Thieves saw the opportunity once he was of age to play, signed him on to the 3rd class of 100 Thieves next for the 2022 competitive year.
I mean, one could say that's fortunate for Sniper, as it has been a dominant year of amateur for 100 Thieves next, being our 1 seed both times. But I think one of the interesting threads about this game is that I think both 400X and EGA last PG was a bit of a disappointment for each. It was a 13 through 16 finish for EGA, and then a 9 through 12 finish for 100 Thieves next. I think both teams are looking to do better in this PG, and one of them will fall to the lower bracket after this matchup, as we have an attempted dive, but Fnatic is here on the hover. EGA decides to go for it, and it will be enough. I don't think he was spotted, but EGA get cold feet.
And now Darkwings is taking this opportunity to get a little bit of chip damage onto Saligo as he walks back to lane. It's going to make that journey a little bit difficult, and as a result, Saligo misses out on some XP and some gold as the wave does crash into the turret. We're about a couple and a half minutes away from the first Rift Herald spawn. I want to get your thoughts, Cubby. See, how do both of these teams set up for this objective, if they want it?
I mean, I think the big thing at the moment is I know that it was a solo kill for Sniper on the top side, but I got to say, the Kalista Draven lane, Cowrie's ahead. Being even as the Kalista is ahead. And if you are not winning smashing lane as Draven, you are not as useful in the later stages of the game. So I think the bot lanes, you know, when I look at amateur versus academy in the landscape, I think the bot lane is probably the role where I'd say academy has the biggest advantage. I mean, Cowrie is on an 8th place academy team. This guy is a TCL MVP and has been huge this split, as we see a nice all-in top side from Sniper. Able to take some health away. But we will see if that Kalista lane can end up converting into an early Dragon, as they have pushed right now, and Tomio looking to start that Drake.
Yeah, and it's still in a minute and a half before Rift Herald spawns, so Fnatic, the most that he could get is maybe take some camps away from Tomio's topside jungle. However, Tomio gets spotted on an ward as he's traversing, getting some counter jungling in. Want to wait for his bot lane to fully reset and get in position to start stacking up this dragon. I'm trying to see if Cowrie is on it and is looking to stack spears, but they're just walking the river right now. So, once again, not going for a play quite yet.
That's all right, though. Tomio's at least able to get the Raptors, take that away. Could help him maybe get to an item spike before a Herald fight, which, gotta believe, with 100 Thieves taking that Gnar on the top side. And I gotta say, Conqueror for both of our top laners as well. That bit of a surprise on Gnar did pay off early, but I think this is where we're going to see the action, Rafa. And I think that bot resets could be very impactful and imperative. As Amumu, if he's able to get 6 with Kalista, that is something that EG could use to shift the Herald fight in their favor.
You know, we have always joked about Amumu in the past when we never saw him in competitive play. Like, oh man, if he just had a better, more reliable gap closer, he could potentially be the best champion in the game. Well, put him into a Pokeball, Kalista says, I choose you, and throws him into potentially all 5, and you got a guaranteed Curse of the Sad Mummy delivery system, and that makes for one of the most terrifying bot lanes that we have in the game right now.
We'll see if Smoothie was potentially watching some Bible VODs, as DK and Bible played a fantastic Amumu yesterday. As, we have action across. Saligo is scooping Darkwings in, but Sligo on the wrong side of things.
I do like this, though, because you're forcing out the ultimate for Darkwings early. So
trade.
now the rest of 100 Thieves next,
Yeah.
they cannot compete for the Rift Herald. Otherwise, that big Swain ultimate would have been potentially a game changer.
Okay, I like that. Tomio starts it on spawn, gets the benefit. As you can see, Fnatic, because that Herald goes down, EG for free. He's trying to cut off EGA on the other side of the map. Will be one plate and going over to Lens. Some camps going over to Fnatic. But honestly, not a huge lead for 100 next. So I gotta say, clean Rift Herald take from our Academy squad.
And Evil Genius is already responding towards the bottom side of the map. Tomio is en route. Yes, he loses out on a blue buff, but Rift Herald, 200 local gold, makes up for it a little bit.
That was bigger.
Oh, Sniper. Throwing out the ultimate once again. Surdy still has the needlework, is able to get some decent chunk amount of damage back. This is a big stack wave. Whoa. And the wave is going to be potentially frozen right in front of Surdy's tower.
Yeah.
So this is a great lane stay for him as well.
Again, well played from Surdy. I think Surdy, one of the stronger Academy laners that we have across all roles, frankly. And Surdy, with no resources, thrown up to the top side. And down First Blood, able to turn things in his favor. And we'll get that TP out of Sniper again, who is forced to TP top to break that lane state. And that's enough for EGA to decide to take this Dragon, take the first two neutrals in their favor for free. Not even close.
You know, if Draven ulti also executed objectives based on his stacks, that would be something else. But, you know, thankfully for Tomio, he's got Smite, True Damage, beats out. For the rest of 100 Thieves next, yeah, you already highlighted the big elephant in the room. If this Raven doesn't get ahead, isn't smashing the lane, then what do really 100 Thieves next have yet left to pivot off of when it comes to being able to contest EGA at this mid game?
Their hope is that Swain doesn't die, as with Renata and Swain and Wukong. There are some big AoE teamfight ults that you can use to really try and stop Cowrie and the Azir in its tracks. But I will say, for the side of 100 Thieves, the fact that they are not ahead yet, and they are playing full dive into a Gwen, could be tough. But Fnatic, that's a nice pick. Good flash.
From Smoothie.
Good flash.
Can he get out? However, the chase from Darkwings and Fnatic, it's not enough. Smoothie, a little too tanky for them. He's able to get out alive and preserve. He had to use the Curse of the Sad Mummy, but still make sure that his life is not forfeited over to the side of 100 Thieves next.
Sniper wins out this side of the all-in brawl on the top side. Really got to praise Smoothie, though, for that flash, because with this play, 3 members of 100 Thieves next just showed on the top side. So look at this response from Saligo, from EGA. Immediately going to look to take control of the bot side. Cut off members of 100 next, and Sword.
Boom. Sword forced the flash over the wall.
Good flash.
Saligo, nicely done. Getting a summoner spell out of Sword here, making proactive use. This is something that we've also wanted to see. We haven't really talked about Saligo that much, but he was someone that we were expecting to step up on this Evil Geniuses Academy roster for almost the entire year. And there have been times where, when he was on the Lissandra, probably the most proactive we have seen out of him. And for him to translate that play onto something like an Azir as well, it's going to help EGA continue to close out this lead that they are starting to surmount.
I think that Lissandra is a good shout-out. Saligo's Lissandra is so good, and you know, the individual strength of EG is real. And something that even 100 Next recognized. Talking with Fnatic before this series, you know, he said, I think that, you know, we're an amateur team that can match Academy teams in terms of individual skill, but even he was like, guys, it's EGA. I mean, these 5 individuals are really good. Feel like, you know, they aren't performing to what the sum of their parts could perform to. And I think that's where 100 Next, even as the amateur team, are looking to beat them with some of this team play. One of the few amateur teams that I think can contest our Academy teams in terms of team play. See if that ends up being big for 100 Next. Fnatic thinks it could be imperative in their win. See if they can help out here, as this could be bad.
Ready. No Hex Flash available, but he can still bandage toss over the wall. If there's no Raptors available, Darkwings able to fend off the 4-man push for now, as the Rift Herald does take 3 plates.
It is worth noting that Hex Flash is disabled. There was a fun bug that we discovered last night in the LCK where people with Hex Flash were randomly respawning. As Amumu, you know, tried to insta-respawn to find some friends. All of his friends were off the Rift. Pretty good Amumu cosplay. But no Hex Flash, as that was the source of it. So little bit of playmaking taken away from Smoothie, but still, this Amumu, those R flashes are huge. And we'll see if Smoothie can step up with Cowrie and do that later in this game.
Taking stock of what has happened on the map as we are 40 seconds away from plates falling. 3 plates were taken on the top side in favor of Sniper. I think no plates were had by Surdy in response quite yet.
Hold on.
Oh, does Sniper have an angle here? Needlework is huge from
Mega.
Surdy, going for the all-in. Sniper dodging out crucially on the last Needlework. Turret shot. It's going to force Surdy away as Sniper also goes Mega. Could have been so close for Surdy.
And that's something I really like from Sniper, like this young player. It's not just that he has faith in his hands, but he's able to execute as well. That sidestep on the R, saving his life as both these top laners have been playing this entire matchup really on the brink of disaster for each side. Like to see our top laners pushing the limits. Always know that Surdy is one to throw down. Fun to see Sniper trying to match him too. But we'll see now if Hunter Next on the map can match this Dragon setup from EGA. As we have Hunter Next redeploying. But EGA currently have total control over the bot river as Dragon spawning in 20 seconds.
So far, Evil Geniuses Academy are the first ones to the punch. They have their waves properly set up. Mid-wave already in motion for Soligo to push in. Lens catching a bottom wave set up by Cowrie and Smoothie. And so they are waiting in the shadows so they can start the Dragon. And notice how they are pulling it towards the strength of Soligo as well.
And I like this from Hunter Next because, you know, they at least scout the Dragon. They know they have bot prior. They're still looking for the members of EGA, but spotting Smoothie and now Cowrie in the river, that enabled Lens to crash a wave into the turret that now EGA is going to miss, and that's enough for 100 Thieves to feel comfortable starting up this Dragon.
And Evil Geniuses, they just give it. And they're not going to contest.
Oh,
they don't want to take any
too.
chances. Oh, Sniper solo taking the turret, going for the all-in on a
There's no
Surdy.
ult.
Doesn't have Ghost anymore. Needlework not available.
Sniper.
He wins the 1v1 again.
That's the kid, man, the 15-year-old. We keep on praising the developmental programs of each of these orgs, but Sniper, one of the most valuable pieces that Hunter Thieves Next has in theirs. As, oh, okay, hold on, Fnatic.
2v2, Fnatic and Darkwings against Tomio and Soligo. Shuffle was already used. Tomio forced to flash over the wall. Fnatic
fans
taken
down.
to the very bitter low, but
Soligo.
Sniper has the roam as the collapse. Can he get onto Soligo? What a good flash, and it's Tomio re-engaging over the wall, trusting in his mid laner. They turn it around on the Sniper, but here comes Sword to turn things back on its head. 100 Thieves Next, can they close it out? Tomio still living out. The bailout giving Darkwings a little bit more faith as they clean out the 2v2.
EGA, they win out on the skirmish slightly, but 100 Thieves, because they took that top turret and the Dragon for themselves, I think the advantage is theirs on the map. As I gotta say, Tomio on the Xin almost turned things around, but just wasn't enough.
This was so close. I'm literally clenched right here, Cubby. This is just like back and forth between both of these.
I know one thing, you know, talking with Fnatic about the Game 5 loss in finals, trying to have faith in his hands. A little bit too much faith there from Fan, but hey, at least Sniper was there, had that solo kill top, and was able to turn it around. That boomerang barely missed on Soligo. If that connected, that would have been maybe a bonus kill, and Sniper surviving, you know, with the triumph in the rune page. Very close there for the side of Hunter Next, as still gold lead in their favor.
Yeah, while 100 Thieves Next do eventually get the kill on Atomio, the fact that Soligo doesn't go down and picked up a shutdown gold on top of it from Sniper, I would love the observers can sometime maybe after this Rift Herald skirmish get to see the gold lead, because I want to see where Soligo's at. I imagine, yeah, solid 500 gold lead against Darkwings. I mean, I think you're looking to Soligo to be really the big carry in this mid game right now.
And this Herald start, I love Darkwings playing interference here. And with that top line priority for Sniper, that's enough to make sure that 100 Thieves Next get second Herald for free. Sniper TP's bot to take the bot wave that Surdy was able to crash and can now utilize the solo advantage he has to try and take this bot outer as well. But we'll see. Sniper is mini and is pushing when he should. His play just made team just made a play on the top side of the map. Sniper.
Hop, skip, jump over the wall, but it's 3
Mega.
members there from EGA.
Not enough.
Sniper, a little too greedy on the overextension there. EGA are able to punish. And now, shifting the conversation over, there's one person, as we're already looking at him, in Lens. Draven, he hasn't cashed in, and time is running out before Draven starts to feel pretty sheepish about his power and his effectiveness in the game, but he still hasn't gone down. If there's a time
way out of
to
position.
cash in, Lens
big
is sitting
TP.
on 407 stacks
Hold
right
on.
now. This fight could get messy, but if Lens cashes in here, he is back in the game, and he can really lead the charge. But Sword is traded out by Cowrie. Darkwing's on the other side of the fight, and Tomio is blocking Lens and
it's
Fnatic
big.
from being able to re-enter. Darkwing's with the stasis. Can he buy
Good
enough time
arm.
for the rest of 100 Thieves next to get in? But EGA are playing this so beautifully, and now they found Lens. He's looking for it, but that's a clutch stasis from Smoothie. Lens doesn't get the cash in. Cowrie flashes and denies half of the stacks from Lens. The cash out is not there. Shut down from Sniper on the back end to get Saligo, but man, oh man, EGA are coming up huge.
And that individual strength that even Fnatic and 100 Thieves Next had to recognize coming into the series, it paid off there from EGA as the TP in from Saligo was massive, and that's what enabled EGA to bounce back and get into this game.
And even though the gold lead is even right now, the momentum feels so big for EGA coming into the mid game now.
I mean, that was a couple of series of sweet plays coming out. Shout out to Smoothie. That stasis shout out, Rafa. Clutch there. Denying the stacks from Lens. As I gotta say, Lens did play that fight really well. It was just too much in the end. EGA threw the kitchen sink at him and 100 Thieves Next. And hey, they got the Sunday, man. They're up in gold now.
Oh, and I've just been informed. I'm a little behind on my Draven knowledge. Unfortunately, I don't play marksman role, but it's now 75% of his stacks that he loses upon death, and not just half. So, I mean, that's even more damning for Lens now in this game.
I'd say Darkwings. Man, if Sniper was able to get here, like, he doesn't have TP. This hold from Darkwings in the clutch in the choke did so much damage, was almost so clutch for 100 Thieves Next, but just not enough to get split on the back half. And again, that was all made by Saligo, the TP, as Saligo's map play really has been phenomenal, I think, in the second half of Academy. Good to see him step up there. Big Emperor's Divide to split 100 Next. Now, another TP used by EGA. That's a free dragon.
Third dragon of the game, second one for Evil Geniuses Academy. Only 2 dragons away from a Soul Con here for the squad. But for 100 Thieves Next, they're starting to run out of answers now. You already talked about how one of the things that can help them is as long as Darkwings can occupy time and just not go down, but Saligo ramping up will definitely be someone that you can rely on from the side of EGA to take down Darkwings in an extended fight. And from that point on, 100 Thieves Next, I mean, honestly, Cubby, I'm looking to you to tell me what responses do they have left in the tank?
It's got to be Naren's side lane, because I look at that marksman matchup, and that was a concern. Again, Cowrie, so sound as a player. And his Callista, even the Draven counterpick, 100 Next were not able to cash in the stacks, not able to get a lead in lane. Cowrie 2-0-1, working towards that third item, and 50 CS ahead, nearly, on this Callista. After being counterpicked, Cowrie has been great. And we've seen what happens when Cowrie gets fed for EGA. He is that late game insurance, and he always delivers.
2 items fully completed, as you already called out for Cowrie. Very confident on the Callista, has the mobility, and it's very hard for 100 Thieves Next to lock him down. However,
That could be
Tomio, face
big.
check. Good crescent guard, buy some time, but
real
is it going to
big.
be enough time? Hostile takeovers coming in, and Sniper
real big.
alongside 100 Thieves Next, leading the charge.
They're gonna
It's a big pickup, and you know what? It's time to flip, baby. Call
They're
the
gonna
Hail
start.
Mary.
The engage for EGA would have to be Saligo going in. That's very risky. Sniper's about to proc Mega. Let's see if 100 Next turn or burn.
This is a good timer for the Mega Nard.
Look at
You also
Darkwings.
called out. Sniper is just going to play bodyguard. Scoops up 2, and 100 Thieves Next. Let's go for the flip onto Cowrie. Doesn't have flash. He's able to hop away, but Darkwings can't shoot alive. Surdy coming up huge. Has just cut them down to size. Snip all through 3. Saligo finds himself another on the Lens, and 100 Thieves Next would look like a good Baron play. Surdy turns it immediately on its head, and the rest of 100 Thieves Next, they are set floundering.
Oh my, they forgot about the Gwen on the back half, and Surdy tore through 100 Next in that fight. What a play from him, as that Baron Hope, a comeback mechanic there for 100 Thieves Next. It goes from looking good for them to looking great for EGA. They're going to take this Baron for themselves.
Tomio comes back on the map. It's like, wow, thanks, guys. Oh, we got the Baron up, and just look at this replay. The way that it looks so good, but then Darkwings trying to zone off Surdy. Even through the exhaust, Surdy is just destroying.
Look at the R's. Oh my goodness, the alt cast from Surdy. Those are hitting 3-4 members the entire time. Sweet spot too to take down Lens. Surdy's so sound. I gotta say, 100x, I like the idea to turn. Burning everything out of Mumu, I don't love. As Smoothie still had flash, able to get out safely. And 100 Thieves next, they come up empty, and now they're floundering on the map as this is all EGA. A lot of standing gold for them too, with all the inners and mid-outer still up. Gotta imagine those 3-4 turrets are gonna fall in favor of EGA. This gold lead's gonna get to about 5k, and they should be able to get soul point too.
Yeah, with just a minute and a half to go before that objective comes up, Evil Geniuses Academy would be able to secure a dragon that puts them at soul point. And just look at the gold charts right now. Cowrie, if we didn't highlight how damaging it was for Lens to lose all those stacks in the fight previous to the one we just saw, the numbers illustrate that very clearly. Almost down 2.5k gold. Surdy also, even though he's behind in Sniper, comes up huge, showing that the gold difference in top lane doesn't matter. Tomio also ahead by a solid 2,000 at Evil Geniuses Academy, making full strides and making great use of the Baron already. Engaging onto the bot side. Oh, Smoothie. Just good lockdown on a Sniper. The one with the biggest gold lead on the side. 100 Thieves next. Taking out the young rookie. And for Evil Geniuses Academy, they're just pushing on forward. That's a cash in for Lens, but hasn't come in too late. Cowrie still pressing forward, but here comes Fnatic looking for a Cyclone. Darkwings popping the Ascension. Can they turn something around here? It's still Darkwings and Lens defending the remnants of the base for 100 Thieves next, and it looks like Evil Geniuses Academy will take the lead.
It's a bit of a trade of kills, but it's EGA coming out on top, and look at that gold lead now. It's up to 5k. They get the dragon for free in the back half. All that standing gold they had up, knocked down 3 of the turrets. And for EGA, it wasn't the dream early game start they wanted. You could have done more with the Xin Zhao, the Kalista, and Mumu. We didn't see Tomio really get into the face of Fnatic to deny all the camps. But the way they've hit this mid game, an area of the game that I feel like EGA has shown some weaknesses throughout our Academy split, it's been very sound in this one, especially off the back of Surdy. That's something that EGA can really take and run with for the rest of this tournament, as again, this is a team, we heard the interview between Cowrie and Sligo. They really believe they can take top 4, and looking at this roster, this is a roster that can top 4, but we just needed to see them come together as a team, and against our top amateur squad, it really feels like they are coming together just at the right time.
An answer that we have been looking for ever since the iteration of this roster was announced back in spring. And since then, they struggled. In Proving Grounds, they were knocked out early by Taco Gaming in the lower bracket.
Yeah.
This time around, Evil Geniuses Academy needs to rewrite the narrative. They need to be the ones that make the surge through the upper bracket.
It was a disappointing spring. And also, I mean, this was a team, when we went into that break week, we were almost surprised that there were not any roster changes. Like, it was something that EGA were really thinking about. But they stuck with this 5, and it really feels like they're coming together. I know that Tomio said the break week, you know, they realized, hey, we didn't have to grind this game till 1 a.m. every day. Sometimes it's better take that break for mental or watch some VODs, pick up some knowledge. And it feels like whatever's going on in the EGA camp, it's bringing them more together as a squad. It's been really good to see these individuals live up to the talent that we know that they have. As EGA keep on cleaning up the map here against Hunter next. Soul point. 5k gold lead. Late game is 0 at 3 items. All's coming off EGA.
Mid game, very strong. We're heading into the late game surge of the match as well. And so far, even though that Sligo has sported 1 death, he is still pumping out massive damage. Cowrie, deathless so far in this game. 4-0-3 on the Kalista as well. These two backliners have been the heart of Evil Geniuses Academy when it comes to being those late game carries, but Surdy is someone that you cannot sleep on either. And the way that he has been approaching flanks, the way he is coming in as a second win to relieve and give Evil Geniuses the hope they need to close out the momentum of some of these very tense fights. These are the things that we look forward to when we see this Evil Geniuses Academy roster come through fruition.
Yeah, gotta say too, for Surdy, do love the build, as some of the changes to Gwen, taking a bit of power out of her E. Nasher's not as good. This build, all about the ult, the Q, making sure that when you cast those, they really connect and hit hard. We saw what Surdy was able to do without these items in the last fight around Baron. Now that he has them, more for Hunter next to worry about, as Hunter Thieves, gotta say, starting to look like a game 2 angle for me. I I don't know how they bounce back in this one. Draven just never really got off to a great start, and now Cowrie. 3 items plus, almost the BT. Once he gets BT, not enough damage on Hunter next to take him down.
Yeah, that's it's a tough world for Lens to be in.
Yep.
I mean, we talked about before, playing Draven, big gamble. We've seen it come through for players like Wixie yesterday. Gorka as well in the amateur space during the Proving Ground circuit. Even someone like Sketch over on Cincinnati Fear had a great lead with Draven, but we see how difficult it is to pilot in the late game, even with the lead. The fact that Lens never got that lead, never got the cash in on that big stack that we were looking at in the mid game. And Lens, it feels so hard to actually play and feel like you have an impact. It is truly up to the rest of the members of 100 Thieves Next to put in the damage against EGA.
Soligo, I mean, this is a super push in the bot side. I gotta say, burning that turret there, maybe not necessary, but that tells me that instead of looking for Soul, they're actually looking for Baron. As it is started, this is a Callista comp. This is not spotted yet by 100 Thieves Next. We'll see. They have no blue trinkets left, so EGA, they already have this at half, and now 100 Next are just starting to sniff it out.
And they just want to pull
big
in.
engage.
Smoothie finds the first target onto Darkwing. Zonia's is popped. Darkwing's buys some time, but
He's
doesn't
down.
get to ascend. The bailout comes in too late, though.
It's
But
pretty
Sniper
good.
looking for the turnaround. But can they get
Too
onto
late.
Cowrie? That's the question. Oh, it's just not enough damage for 100 Thieves Next. Evil Geniuses Academy not even worried about the fight. They wipe them all out in one fell swoop. It's the ace, and you don't need the soul to close out the game. You can just march down to the Nexus.
Nice bait and switch from EGA as Smoothie on the Amumu, giving 100 Next that bear hug and taking them all down with the curse of the Sad Mummy as EGA. Couple hiccups early. Sniper getting ahead of Surdy was big for 100 Next, but EGA brought it together as a team. Really liked the mid game they had in this one, and that's something that EGA can really run with in this tournament. Their mid games improved. This is a scary squad, and taking down our #1 amateur team, that's no easy task. EGA made it look easy on the back half.
Yeah, I mean, let's compare already the strength of this win versus the strength of one of the wins they got against Taco Gaming before they were reverse swept, right? The 100 Thieves Next is one of our best teams, if not the best amateur team coming in. And at the top of the match, you said, we are treating 100 Thieves Next like an academy squad because they have the players talented enough to run with it. And Fnatic and Darkwings have been an academy before. Sword also been an academy. Lens and Sniper, I mean, as Sniper especially, very strong enough that it should already be in the league at this point. The fact is, you know, he's too young, so he can't be moved up yet. But Evil Geniuses Academy looking back, and if they can reliably take down a squad like 100 Thieves Next, then that bodes very well for their upper bracket promises and futures for that top 4 that they are so adamant that they can make.
And I mean, EGA, setting expectations like that is one thing. Living up to them is another. And like this is another team, much like FlyQuest. Since that break week, back half of the season, this team has talented individuals. Again, something that even Fnatic has to recognize going into this set. They're starting to live up to it. And if we continue to see that team play as well as the individual play, keep on showing up for EGA, that's where this team really can start making a case for being a dark horse for the PG tournament. But hopefully it's not a reverse sweep for an amateur squad again like it was last time against Taco Gaming. EG need to pick up another game against 100 Next. Again, no easy task against this team. See if they have it in them moving forward.
Well, yeah, definitely called it. When we come back after this break, it's the halftime show with the rest of the Death Sierra and Rude on the flip side. We'll see you then.
I don't necessarily have a lot of good things to say. I think that I've been playing really poorly, and I still think that everybody in amateur for top lane is really bad, like comparatively to my current form. Just like for the overall teams, I think they're all very far below even the worst academy team in skill. I think probably the only team that could maybe take a game off of a academy team would be 100X, but I assume that would be more through playing some weird cheese comp. Darkwings is pretty good, so if they moved properly mid-jungle, I feel like they could really impact the side lanes and maybe take a game off of somebody. But overall,